Going on, everyone? Welcome, Rabid here, and we're doing an updated guide on KASPA ASIC pricing, ROIs, and which miner is the best one for the value and efficiencies and so on. We're also going to take a look at the brand new wind miner K9. I added that to my sheet, and we're going to see what things are looking like and compare them to how they were before. So this is what our numbers looked like previously, and the KS0 was absolutely the worst miner in terms of efficiency as well as price to purchase. So per gigahash, it was the most expensive miner to buy, and it was also the least efficient per gigahash of the amount of power that it used. But things are actually different now with the recent release of the KS0 Pro. Yes, you heard that right. There's a KASPA KS0 Pro. If you follow me on Twitter as well as my videos, I'm sure you already know that by now. We put out some announcements and stuff a couple of weeks back, but now this is looking like it's a lot more efficient than some of the bigger brothers where the other one was worse. Now the cost is still looking the worst, but it is the lowest entry fee of all the KASPA ASICs. Let's take a look at the numbers. Okay, so here's all the updated pricing, and when it comes to the KS1 and the KS2, this is also with their overclocked firmware involved, so you're getting the max amount of hash rate out here. Also, as well as the pricing is coming officially from Ice River for that, Bitmain for its, and then I'm using Mining Centrals for the K9 because it's really the only one I see where it's currently listed so far. And I do recommend Miner Bros if you are looking for KASPA ASICs or any ASICs, including the latest and best Bitcoin miners that are recently releasing. So check out those links down in the description as well as discount codes. Are you looking for ASIC miners, just not sure who to trust? Head on over to Crypto Miner Bros. They do have the latest models of all the popular brands from Bitmain, Ice River, Goldshell, Jazzminer, Apollo, MicroBT, IBLink, Cana and Avalon, and in Silicon. We got the S21 is already on order. I believe shipping begins in May. This thing is 200 terahash at 3,000 watts. On top of the X5 XMR miner, we got some hydro-cooled Bitcoin miners, and of course the S19K. Be sure to use my link in the description, and code RABID will grant you $50 off per item that you purchase at any given time, as well as shipping fees are calculated in the price already, and they drop the value so that import fees are next to nothing. Okay, so let's head this off here. Let's start with the KS0 Pro. Now, it looks like the pricing is sitting at about $429. The hash rate is 200 gigahash, and it's only supposed to use about 100 watts. I'm guessing it's probably going to use a little bit more. We did find that out in the previous one that it was using a bit more than the listed on the website there, but we'll see what happens. Right now, the price per gigahash, again, is the worst price, which means you're spending the most amount of money per gigahash that you're getting here at $2.14 per gigahash here. But an interesting thing here is this is no longer the least efficient miner. It's looking like the worst miner now to have in terms of efficiency is the KS1. Here in red, we can see it is 1.47 gigahash per watt. Now moving forward, we've seen some other things change as well. The KS2 is actually the best price per gigahash right now that's currently on the MSRP on Ice River's website. Keep in mind with the Ice River website though that you are going to have to probably pay pretty expensive shipping fees as well as import fees, because I don't think they drop the value of their miners. That's where Mining Central and as well as Miner Bros definitely comes into play, because they do have shipping included into their prices and they drop the cost down severely, so you only get hit with like maybe $20 to $30 when you have to finally import this thing. But it is looking like the KS2 is now, with the overclocking and everything, the best price per gigahash, which is very interesting. Now, moving into the ROI aspect, you can pause this, check out the numbers. I'm sure you guys don't need me to really go through every single miner individually, because you can see everything is right here, right in front of you, laid out. Now, the big thing, ROI. Now, let's kind of see how I came to these ROI values. Obviously, it's based on these prices, and it's based on this hash rate. Now, I'm also basing it off this month's reward reduction. So remember, on the 8th, which is 7 days at the time of recording, KASPA is going to see yet again another block reward reduction. I'm using the current price as of right now, as well as the current network hash rate of 52.2 petahash. Now, that has been going up quite a bit, which we can see if we look back at my ROI. I've been keeping track of everything since I got my KASPA ASIC, starting at 13.6 petahash on the network, all the way down. We can see up to 31.43 petahash here. And then fast forwarding to where we are now, we can see 36, 38, 41, 49, 48, 51, and so on. So jumping back into here, we can see the hash rate is constantly climbing. So these rewards are obviously going to drop. But this is looking at it right now with the block reward reduction in place with 52.2 petahash and a KASPA price of slightly over 5 cents. So coming back into this, we can see the fastest ROI miner is the KS2. And the reason is it makes sense because it will ROI the fastest because it is the lowest price per gigahash. So you're getting the most amount of hash rate for the cheapest price possible with the KS2. Now, just what we've seen recently here or in the past, the other one here is Bitmain's KS3 is actually the longest ROI of all these miners now, which is very interesting. It's very interesting to see that because it used to be actually pretty fast. Even though it was costing a bit more, the hash rate was pretty big, pretty large, but due to how we have overclocking abilities and that new firmware on the other miners, they're catching up to Bitmain, and Bitmain is still overpricing their miner per the amount of hash rate that you get, which is now putting Bitmain dead last in terms of days to ROI their miner. Now, the Windminer K9, this thing is a beast. It is obviously the most efficient miner here, 11 terahash, 3,400 watts, and 3.23 gigahash per watt of power used. Now, what my numbers mean, you may see it reversed in a lot of other people, how they do theirs. What I do here is 3.23 watts is what this uses per 1 gigahash. That's what I do. I'm not doing it in joules or anything. I'm using it in watts, and that's what we do. We use watts here in North America, and most of my viewers are in the USA or something. So we're going based on watts, and that's how I like to run these numbers here. So the interesting thing here, though, is looking up here, we saw previously with the KS0, it was the least performing here in efficiencies as well as price. Now we can see that it's actually beating a bunch of miners here. Look at this, is 2 gigahash per watt of power, which makes sense. It's 200 gigahash at 100 watts. So very, very interesting. Now, moving forward here, it is more efficient than the KS2. It is also more efficient than the KS3M, but it's lacking behind, obviously, the KS3 of Ice River. The biggest miners of them all is lacking behind those. But we did see an efficiency boost coming off on the KS0 Pro, which is actually surprising to me. I was ready to say, oh, great, here we go, another one. So this thing it has to be. There's no way it's just overclocked firmware or anything. It's got to be using more efficient chips, you know, maybe something in the middle ground of the KS3 and something else. I don't know, but it's getting double the hash rate and it's keeping it around the 100 watt mark, which means we do have better hardware within this miner because we're seeing this efficiency boost happen on it. All right, guys, so huge epic failure on my part, or maybe I did it on purpose to get you guys to comment because you guys are probably already saying something about it. I don't know how I messed this up, but 163 is higher than 157. So no, Bitmain's isn't the longest ROI miner. It is the actual KS0, which makes sense because it's the highest price per gigahash to pick up this miner. So I did mess that up. I apologize, but I'm sure you guys pointed it out to me already. But here we are. The KS0 is the longest ROI, and it makes sense. But I also think it's probably going to be the most popular miner for all you home miners out there, because most people that watch the channel are from North America, and majority of you are from the United States. We don't have like $20,000 to drop on one of these big machines here. So the lowest entry point did seem to be the most popular miner previously in the KS0. Now we got the KS0 Pro coming in at a lot better efficiency, still the worst price here and the longest ROI, but I feel this is still probably going to be the most popular miner for most of you guys out there because it doesn't cost an arm and a leg and half a kidney to pick up. So yeah, here's our number, guys. Things are changing a little bit, but it's very interesting to see that the KS2 is actually the best price now and fastest ROI and ASIC for KASPA that you can currently get your hands on. And the KS0 did see an efficiency boost, but it's still coming in as the most expensive per hash rate, but it is the lowest entry fee. And then we got the K9 here, which actually blew Bitmain away in terms of efficiencies at 3.23 gigahash per watt. So crazy stuff going on in the KASPA world. You know, when Kadena KA3 first emerged, you know, 2-3 weeks after they released from Bitmain, everyone was pretty much saying Kadena died. Now we're like 3-4 months into ASIC mining on KASPA, and it is still the most profitable coin to mine and the most profitable ASICs to be mining with. It is crazy. So that block reward is reducing every month. We got to keep that in mind. Obviously the price will have to keep going up in order to make up for all this, but right now we are still talking about KASPA, the KASPA hype train, 100% speed ahead. Things are looking awesome. Thank you for checking out this video, guys. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. I will see you on the next one. Rabid out.